everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. Quick movie review first. I did go to see a movie this week, and I saw Bullet Train. I saw it in IMAX because I figured, why not? I have AMC A-list, so it doesn't cost anything extra. Might as well see it on the biggest screen possible. And it was quite good on a very big screen. It's a fun action movie. It's not as clever as it thinks it is. Like, it's clearly going for, like, this Tarantino structure with flashbacks and revelations and things. And sometimes it works, other times it does not. And so, sometimes it's quite funny. Other times it's like... But, like, it's fine. It was an entertaining action movie, and it didn't go off the rails, if you know what I mean. It did sort of run out of steam, though, I will say, in places. Like, at a certain point, it's just, the story is kind of a mess, and you're just sort of like, what? Like, there's all these other passengers, so the people have to, like, you know, kill in secret and whatever, and be a little surreptitious with the action sequences and stuff. But then there's, like, there's, like, a whole food service car that's, like, just empty. There's a bar where, like, there's no employees, and I'm just like, what? And then, after a certain point in the movie, like, every other passenger disappears, and I'm like, where did they all go? And the movie sort of tries to explain it with a line of dialogue that makes it make even less sense. So I was just like, never mind, ignore that, and just enjoy the explosions and the shooting and the blood and the violence and whatever. So if you're at all interested in seeing Bullet Train, I do recommend seeing it on as big a screen as possible. If you don't care, you can watch it on your TV and it'll be fine. Streaming. No worries. This week, I also got a new Lego set, which I'm very excited about. I got the Atari 2600. It's so cool. I was supposed to get a really cool free gift with it, but it didn't come, and I called them, and I was like, what happened to my free gift? The little, like, tree house with the little archery and Robin Hood thing. And she's like, oh, we ran out of those. And I was like, damn it. So, boo. So I jumped right in. The first bag was the Adventure Cartridge, which you can see here. And this little, they come with 3 cartridges and dioramas. So there's a little adventure diorama with a little castle and a dragon, a little Easter egg in the back. And then the next kit was this case to store your cartridges, which is super cute. And then after that, then it started building the actual Atari 2600 console itself. So I don't have a lot to show for that because I've only done a few bags. So I just have this, you know, just this little bit of the base done so far. Because the problem is I can only do like a couple of bags at a time because pressing all the little Lego pieces together, it like really hurts your fingers after a while. So I can only do a few bags at a time. But I can't wait to finish it, and I'm sure it'll be finished by the next episode because I have a whole week to work on it, and there's not that many bags. So, and then of course, as for gaming, I have continued to play Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I've made quite a bit of progress in it, actually. I did want to complain about the photo mode, though. You know I love a good photo mode. And the thing is that there's 2 things wrong with the Jedi Fallen Order photo mode. One is not the photo mode, one is the game itself. Because I find photo mode is more fun to use in open exploration games like, you know, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you know, Horizon Forbidden West, you know, Ghost of Tsushima, like where you're exploring this world and there's some really beautiful scenery and you can stumble upon things in these little nooks and crannies and find a different angle on something and go, oh, that's really pretty, let me take a picture of it. So you feel like you're actually, you know, being an exploration photographer. Whereas with Jedi Fallen Order, it's a very linear action game, so you're going across a path that literally everyone else goes across, so you're all seeing things from the same, you're seeing the same things from the same angle, and it's hard to really, like, adjust and get a photo that's different from everyone else. I mean, you can change the filter, whatever. And then, of course, the other problem, like I said, is the photo mode, because It's not the most robust photo mode, which is fine. I don't need like all the little things where you can change the character's facial expressions and pose and whatever. But I don't need a lot of crazy filters. But I would like for the depth of field to actually function. It's super frustrating. There's literally no way. I have tried everything I could. I have adjusted the depth of field in both directions. I have adjusted the f-stop in both directions, and the f-stop just blurs the entire picture, not levels. So it doesn't help. And the best I can do is I can make the foreground elements blurry and the background elements clear, but I can't do the other way around. So I wanted to take a nice picture of this Wookiee on Kashyyyk, and I couldn't blur the background to make the character pop. Super annoying. So I've not been using the photo mode as much as I would in a normal game with a photo mode, so it's a little disappointing, because I do love a photo mode. But the game itself is still fun. I've begun doubling back to planets over and over again. So like you go to Kashyyyk and you have your little adventure, and then you end up going back to this other planet to get some more information, and then you go back to Kashyyyk to meet with the Wookiee leader and everything. And that's where Kashyyyk is lovely. It's somewhat more photogenic, and there was a beautiful shot where I was standing on top of the world tree and the light was streaming through the branches, and I took a great picture, but I'm like, this is the same path that everyone else has taken, and the time of day doesn't change, so everyone saw the same beautiful streaks of light, and it's the same picture, so whatever. That's also oh no, it's not. That's not the first time I had to adjust the difficulty. Actually, the first time was earlier on a previous planet where I got kidnapped by a bounty hunter, and escaping from the bounty hunter, at the end there's this big arena fight where you have to fight wave after wave after wave of enemies all at once, and that is one of the things I hate most in video games. I just find it really dull, and it's not interesting. It's just waves of enemies. That's boring to me. It's not very creative. And it ends with a fight against the bounty hunter. The problem is that every time I would fight, it's like I'm being swarmed all around by enemies, and I'm not that good at the combat still, so I would get my ass handed to me, and I would eventually die. After like, I don't know, 4 or 5 tries, I finally made it to the bounty hunter, but I had like a sliver of health left, and I was like, I'm gonna die in seconds. I did actually last a little longer than I thought I would. I did put up a bit of a fight. I didn't die instantly, but I did die pretty quickly, because I had no health left, and I had no health packs, no stim packs left, so. So after that time, I said, forget it. This is getting really frustrating. I'm getting sick of fighting through these waves of enemies. This is never going to happen. Let me switch it down to story mode difficulty. So I did that. Unfortunately, when I went out into the arena, it turns out that if you make it to the bounty hunter, they don't make you do the waves of enemies again and again and again. You just start with the bounty hunter. So I was like, oh. So that was kind of a relatively easy fight on story mode, and I was a little disappointed in myself, and I kind of wished I should have put it back up to normal difficulty even just during the fight. Like, once I realized I should have put it back up to normal and seen what happened. But I just wanted that section over with. However, I did put it back up to normal, and I continued playing all through Kashyyyk until the end of Kashyyyk, where there was a boss fight against the 9th sister, and she was just horrible. She just kept kicking my ass, and every strategy I tried against her, just like nothing seemed to make any difference, and I could barely get half her health gone before I'd be dead. And after like a half a dozen tries, I said, that's it. This is getting frustrating. I'm not having fun anymore. Let me just drop this down to story mode. And even on story mode, she was not an easy fight. Like that, she still put up a fight. I still had to use like a stim pack or two, and I'm like, rrr. So I am fine with dropping my difficulty down, because at least you can push it back up again. And I knew this was going to happen, because I'm still not that great with the combat. And I was very concerned because the next place I had to go was Dathomir, which is like this dark, evil, red sun planet full of evil Force users and witches and whatever, so that I knew was going to suck. So before I headed there, I actually went back to the very first planet, now that I have my Force power, so I could do a little extra exploring and unlock a couple of places I couldn't unlock before, which helped because I didn't get enough skill points, but I did get a couple of extra stim packs, which are very helpful. And then once I got to Dathomir, I was able to fight enough enemies. There was a fight that was really rough, but it was fine, and I got enough skill points finally to unlock increased lightsaber damage. Unfortunately, even though I could connect through the skill I had bought, you had to buy the other 2 skills in order to buy that one, so it took me a lot longer than I had expected, but now that I have the advanced lightsaber damage, it's much better. And, like, I'm able to defeat enemies in, like, half the time. I feel like it doubled the power of my lightsaber. Because that's something that I am not crazy about games like this, where I prefer RPGs where you can level up your character and your character becomes stronger and does more damage and takes less damage, and then you can also find stronger weapons and armor to protect yourself and do more damage. Here, you're stuck with what you've got. So when I saw it, when I unlocked the lightsaber damage one, I was like, I'm working towards that next, because I need to be able to do more damage against my enemies, because this is just not cool. So, I appreciate that, because this isn't normally the kind of game that I like to play. I like my RPG type things, where I have more things I can level up, you know. So, that's it for this week. Come back next time, and you can see the rest of my Atari 2600 once I've got it all put together. See you then. Bye!